Because it's not safe any.
Call the meeting to order. Can we do order of pledge allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Councilmember Matt Watkins.
Here.
Councilmember Bill Earl.
Here.
Vice Mayor Rick Johannes.
Here.
And Councilmember Larry McCown.
Awesome.
And absent, we have Mayor Bill Renfro.
I'd like to excuse Bill. Get some
Second.
Everybody else on it? Aye.
Okay.
All right. Public comments. We're gonna keep it on to 3 minutes. Anybody got anything, public comments? Go ahead.
I'm not sure if this is a city council issue or not, but I live on Roosevelt Street, and we are getting traffic down there. We got Ring doorbell. We've got 80 cars go by our house in like 9 hours. And they think it's a racetrack. I don't know if the city's ever thought about making some one-way streets there. My thought, so we don't know why all of a sudden such a
At Roosevelt.
on Roosevelt.
They do, what time is that happening? At night, you say? Daytime?
From midnight till the next afternoon, 3-ish or so. And so we know there was well over 100 because she quit counting 80.
It's a popular street in and out from the schools. Are they speeding or are they just,
People are flying by. We talked about that before, yeah, they were flying. They think it's a racetrack. But it's not necessarily, it's not lunchtime or necessarily have slow people.
we can focus more on that?
For sure. But my wife and I were like, maybe they could do one-way streets, I don't know. At least you only get them going one way and coming back. My thoughts.
Steve, the officers will
Take care of it.
check on that. Appreciate that, Steve. Thank you. We have any more public comments? Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
I'd like to just introduce ourselves. My name is Gareth Troy. I'm with DJ Construction. I'm basically here to hear about your project that you guys have on the agenda tonight. I'd like to just introduce ourselves. We're a general contractor, a CM contractor out of Kalamazoo. Done a lot of projects down in this area. So just wanted to sit in and just introduce ourselves.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Anybody else? Public comments? Okay, presentation, development, ready communities program, essential level certification presentation. That's you?
That's me.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Julia Turnbull. I am from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. I am a redevelopment ready communities planner with the MEDC. So I am here today to present the city of Bronson with the essentials designation. So what does that mean for those who might not know? So Bronson has been participating and engaged in RC since March 2017. Let me confirm my notes. Yes, March 2017, where there are a set of best practices around a multitude of different areas, such as community plans, zoning, development review, boards and commission, different things like that around making yourselves more redevelopment ready and just looking to meet said best practices. So Bronson has been working on that for a number of years, and there are 2 different designations, essentials and certified, and Bronson has reached the essentials designation at this time. It was reached back in January. RRC has been able to help Bronson with some technical assistance in the form of, or in some monetary, very close on this, it's distracting. And some monetary technical assistance to help with your master plan update as well as zoning update. And then technical assistance availability renews itself with meeting the essentials designation as well. We are also able, or Bronson was also able to receive a CEDM fellow in their contract here, over 2 years ago? Yeah, about 2 years ago now, time flies. And now, so we were able to help participate with that. So we've been really, it's been great working with the city myself. I've been with MEDC for 5 years, so it's been great getting and seeing you all get to this point. Bronson is the 28th community to reach the essentials designation in the state of Michigan. is about 72% complete with reaching full certification as well. So if that's on the horizon, you're well on your way there as well. So just wanted to come, say congratulations, present the award, get a photo if I can, and let you get on with your business.
Sounds good. I'd say you guys will be part of that. Why don't you guys take a picture? Rick, if you want to get in there too, go ahead. Patrick and Randy are the eye features. That's exactly.
Yeah, if you don't mind taking one.
Not a problem
at all. I'll hand this to you.
You want that, or do you want this in the background, City of Bronson?
Here's the,
I don't know how good a picture you can get from the screen.
I was gonna say, do you guys want to kind of stand here and have the, that in front of you, or behind you, pardon me, rather than the screen of it?
That better?
Much better. Gotcha.
awesome. For you, yes, thank you all so much.
I didn't know.
Thank you very much.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, congratulations.
Consent agenda, Brandon.
Yes, thank you, Vice Mayor Johannes. First item is the Schmidt Farms land lease. The city issued.
I'm sorry,
I'm jumping the gun.
I jumped. Consent agenda,
Nothing to add on.
nothing on there? New business.
Do you want to approve the consent agenda?
Oh, that's right.
And
Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor, passes. Got ahead of myself here.
It happens. You're not used to it, so just go with the flow.
Okay, we're on to new business. Approve Schmidt Farm land lease.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Johannes. City issued a request for proposals for the land known as Schmidt Farms. We received 4 bids. Austin Hotstetler of Austin Hotstetler Farms LLC was the high bidder at $275 per acre. We did bid it out to where you could bid on whether you wanted to farm it yourself or have the ability to sublease it. And they offered the $275 per acre with the ability to sublease that out. The city owns roughly 103 acres of farmland there on 3 parcels, which are accessed off of Parham Road. There are about 98 tillable acres. The total annual revenue would be $26,950. And over the course of 5 years, the lease would generate $134,750. The previous contract, we were receiving $155 an acre in revenue, which amounts to about $16,000 a year, so almost $11,000 a year increase in rents for that. Any questions?
Any questions? Questions? Have, approval?
I'll make a motion, we approve Smith Farms lease with Austin Hostetler from Oak Prairie Farms.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes. Purchase of WWTP clarifier.
I'll skip one.
B.
Oh, council goals. Council goals for FY 2026 budget.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Johannes. In your packet are the proposed city council goals for the upcoming budget, along with a marked up copy showing the changes from the previous fiscal year. It has been updated based on the passage of the new master plan and unified development code and receiving the essential certification level from the MEDC RRC program. Some items have been consolidated or expanded upon. Staff is looking for direction on additions, deletions, changes. Anything like that.
Any questions?
I was at it, it's up pretty good when I read it today.
Good. Okay. So we have a motion to approve it.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Yes. All right. MERS pension plan.
No.
We're on C.
C. All right, now, maybe that's for us. C, purchase WWTP clarifier ditch drive parts.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Johannes. You'll recall that the ditch drives in the clarifier tanks need to be repaired or replaced. Utilities Director Reinhardt obtained quotes for the parts for staff to make the repairs. To replace the entire unit would be $56,665 for each clarifier. To replace the portion of the drives that currently need repair would cost $29,475 per drive. Due to the age of the unit, we are recommending we replace the entire unit rather than repairing a portion of a drive that's over 30 years old. We would like to replace one during this fiscal year budget that we're in now, and the other unit in the next budget year.
Jerry, that was the one that you had to put oil in.
Both of them have oil added twice a week. One of them, the worm gear is worn to where they barely mesh up anymore.
So we've seen the situation, so I see where there's absolutely no other alternative.
The higher cost is the additional piece below it. It's like 40-inch, basically a bearing. It's got 2-inch ball bearings, I think 96 of them going around there. They haven't been touched since 93 or 94. So good chance when we do the top part, the bottom's not gonna be good either.
So just curious, the 56,000, that's the parts only?
This part.
What are we looking at for labor?
It should be something we can do ourselves with a crane rental probably, but it's
Well,
gonna be,
what's the outlay? I mean, are we talking, it's gonna take you a week, 2 weeks, what, I mean, to figure out the true cost, we would need to know what your labor is gonna be on that.
yeah, in a way, I guess, figuring that labor either way, it's,
Correct.
it's. I don't know for sure, I haven't done one before, but the ditch drives, them weren't bad at all. This will be more in depth and working up in the air, basically. We got the bridge out to the center, but we'll have to pull up the part of that, so I mean,
it's, the only reason I'm asking, you made the comment right now that you guys have never done one, which I understand being 30 years.
Yeah.
Okay, but what's our internal labor of struggling through a process like that versus somebody that has experience in doing that? How does that match up? I guess
I guess I don't have the answer, but I mean, I can get prices if you guys would rather hire it out.
I'm
100% fine, but
I'm just saying, are we gonna be in a situation 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the road where we've gotta hire somebody because we're just at a spot where we're stuck? Or are we 90% confident that we can,
I'm pretty confident we can get it.
okay,
I just can't give you an exact,
I'm
you know,
just curious as to what the labor would be.
I would guess a week, probably a week-long project, but it's just a guess.
But Jerry's taken on a lot of projects and saved us a lot of money by doing it. And I'm not discrediting that, I'm just trying to figure out, I mean,
Sometimes it's better just to hire somebody and
yeah,
done
that's,
versus
that's,
fighting through.
I know on the ditch drives, which were fairly simple things, they wanted like 10 grand for labor on those. You're probably talking, I would guesstimate 30, 40 grand probably for labor.
for this year,
Yeah,
so you're almost 1-to-1.
yeah, I mean, like I'm saying, it's a guess, I don't know, but
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I just don't wanna get in a situation when you get,
Yeah, I
this thing
understand.
and all of a sudden we're down and let it cheaper to hire. But if you're confident, then
Yeah.
I've got all the confidence in your ability, your confidence level, so.
Yeah, we do appreciate you, Gary. Oh, we do. Thanks, do a great job. Any further questions? We have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the new ditch drive parts for 56,665.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passes. D, MERS pension plan.
Vice Mayor Johannes, due to a few recent retirements, the cost of the city's MERS pension plan has greatly increased. Any increase is passed on to the employees as the employer rate is capped, as you may already know, at 7.5% for Division 1 and 6.5% for Division 2. The rates for this upcoming July will go, for Division 1 non-police, it'll go from 10.68% to 17.7%. Police is currently at 18.78%, and they will go to 16.73%. I went back to 2017 and looked at rates, and they've increased significantly for both divisions over that period of time. Starting, police made a big jump in 2023 and 2024 from 13.85% to 18.13%. As I mentioned, police will go down a little bit from 18.3% to 16.73%. Both divisions now are paying a large portion of their wages towards the pension plan. This will very likely have an influence on retention and recruitment and when folks decide to retire. I explored different options with MERS to try to reduce the rate, looking at trying to split it down the middle, I think 14%, at least temporarily. Options included applying a portion of the surplus funds that we've added over the years to help reduce the employee portion. Also looked at increasing the percentage we contribute or putting a cap on the employee portion, which would also increase the employer contribution. The option that made the most sense was leaving the surplus funds alone, as we wanted that to cover paying down our future unfunded liability. So I think the most sense made would be to go with a temporary cap on the employee portion, excuse me. So I had them run some calculations on what a 14% cap for employees would do. That would bring the employer portion on Division 1 non-police to 10.24%. And then Division 2 police would go to 8.8%. Did some calculations and came up with about $16,700 in additional costs for the upcoming budget. If council did decide to move forward with a temporary employee cap, I would suggest doing it for 1 year and reevaluating at this time again next year, or after we get our actuarial report for 2024.
We looked at other retirement options.
We looked at, we have a defined benefit right now. We talked with MERS about a defined contribution. That would require us closing off the defined benefit plan. It would offer an opportunity for employees, if they wanted to go to the DC plan. But when you do that, you're cutting off what's getting paid into it because you have fewer employees paying into it. We have the same number of retirees. So that's,
But is there other options besides MERS?
Yeah.
Have we explored other options?
no, but there's 401ks out there for 57 plans. things like that.
Well, looking at that, that's, because right now, you're almost, if I'm reading this, they're taking a pay cut because they have to put in this, right?
Right.
You have the option as far as the 457 and 401K to put in. And if you decide to take a pay cut because you increase your contribution, that's on you because you're going to get the benefit later.
Again, that would, anyone in that plan would not be paying into the pension anymore, and you have the liability on the retirees that we can't close that off.
This is essentially for retention of current employees more than anything, as I see this. And I think that's a crucial thing for us to be considering is the retention.
I understand, but, you know, it's almost like MERS is holding you hostage and, you know, I work in a place that we had MERS and same thing. I mean, it was constantly, every year when they reevaluated, all of a sudden, you know, you're not putting enough money in there and, you know, they hold the company hostage for $500,000 to, that you're supposedly behind. And then they just keep raising the rates for what the employees have to pay. And that's why I'm asking if there's something out there, because it's almost like they're holding you hostage and if you,
I mean, again, just like you said, I mean, they're taking a pay cut because they're forced to do this. If you had a 401K and chose to increase your contribution, and you're taking, that's your choice. You don't really have that choice right now. I mean, the only other option that I see at this, and it's gonna cost a heck of a lot more than that, you almost need to, the amount that it's increasing, you almost have to increase the wages to that to help cover that, or a portion of it.
Well, that's basically what he's trying to do here.
well, he's trying, yeah, just
Because
raise.
he's dropping their contribution to this level, then we're making up the difference.
But it's still, I mean,
But how, wait a minute, hold on, I don't know if that's the case, right? Aren't you,
For some
you're
it is.
capped at your 7.5%, so if you go to the 14% by the employee, how are we covering the rest of that?
Our employer contribution jumps up to the 10.24% for regular non-police, and then Division 2 police would be paying 8.85%.
What was the,
Right now, it's capped at 7.5% for non-police and 6.5% for police.
and why is it capped? Is it capped because of regular, or that it's self-imposed cap for the city?
Yes, that
Okay.
was when the city moved into, I think 2010, they offered it to all employees. I think there have been a small group, maybe police, that had it since 2020, or
We've had long before
2000,
that.
2000, I think it is. Council put a cap on that to make sure that their costs would stay the same,
I
the
guess
percentage would stay the same.
I didn't understand where the cap was.
Yeah,
And if that was self-imposed and we can raise it, then,
yeah,
okay, I agree with what's going on. I misunderstood that, so.
yeah, so.
Well, that stuff gets really complicated anyhow, but I happened to sit down with Brandon Thursday and we talked about it. And I felt very comfortable with the plan he had. Yes, it'll cost the city a little bit more money, but I look at retention of our employees is a huge thing.
that's the deal.
And
I had somebody retire 2 years ago because of that.
Yeah, I'm not
So I've been here a long time.
Understood.
so I'm all in favor. Yes.
But I think in that year, we should look at options for our employees, for your employees.
We can have a representative from MERS probably either come here or jump on a Zoom call with us and talk about possibly going to the defined contribution rather than defined benefit and what the pros and cons are of those, and look at some different things.
Because, again, just like you said, I think you kind of feel like you're being held hostage right now with this particular plan. I think it's definitely worth looking into.
How much would that be for 1 year?
16,704.
I'll make a motion to revise or go with the 1 year cap of 16,704. I'm not sure how that motion has to be.
It'd be a 14% cap on employee contributions.
And I would second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, off-road vehicle ORV ordinance discussion.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Johannes. At the previous council meeting, staff was asked to explore allowing certain ORVs on city streets along with golf carts. Staff met and discussed potential issues and concerns. I put a number of those in your packet. You can read through those. The first one, you would need to clearly define which ORVs you want to allow. I'm guessing you probably are looking just at the utility terrain vehicles, which would be your side-by-side, not all-terrain vehicles. And there's the question of some of them can be licensed and road legal by the state of Michigan, so I would assume we would want to exempt them from the ordinance. Will you require helmets? I looked at the Branch County ordinance for ORVs that they recently passed, and they do require helmets if the vehicle is not fully enclosed. So you might want to stay consistent with what the county does. Our current ordinance does not require helmets on golf carts. Will you have the same requirements and restrictions for golf carts and ORVs? We require seat belts. UTVs, will they have the same inspection as golf carts to make sure that they have all the safety equipment required? And do you put them on the same speed limit of 15 miles per hour like you have for golf carts? And then if they're not road legal, they wouldn't be able to drive on 12, they'd have to cross where there's a traffic light. That is how our golf cart is now.
I was looking at the utility vehicles more than your ATVs. I'm not sure that we're ready for ATVs screaming all over town.
No.
Some of the golf carts can scream today.
Yeah, I know.
Is it 15? I thought it was 25 mile an hour.
No.
Is it 15 on the carts? Okay. Yeah, I mean, not to jump in, Bill, but I think the UTVs, yes, ATVs, no. I think if they're already road legal by the state, you could probably bypass the inspection for the
At
city.
least consider a car at that point.
Correct. I'm not sure that helmets would be needed, and I'm not sure seatbelts. We don't require that on our golf carts, so why would we?
Seatbelts, I think we do in golf carts.
Do we?
Yeah.
So, okay,
Most of the UTVs come with seatbelts in them.
I was gonna say, I mean, as long as we follow and we define it to UTVs and we follow the same thing on our golf cart ordinance, I don't know if there's an issue.
And kind of look at what the county does, just to make sure we're not doing something contradictory to what the county says. You know, we don't want two sets of rules.
Right.
The only thing contradictory is they can have a higher speed limit in the country, they may require the helmets because of that. I mean, most UTVs, I wouldn't say are totally enclosed, but,
Most of them have roofs on them.
and they have a lot more structure to them than a golf cart, so I feel they're much safer.
But I still think we stick with the 15 mile an hour.
Oh, yes, I agree there.
Yeah.
You know, I know up north, I mean, the quad that's up there,
It's wide open.
30 mile an hour down the road, 35.
They're supposed to stay within a 20 mile an hour speed limit.
Fine.
Yeah,
But you see them go by
Oh,
up there and they're just,
yeah. Seen someone go by at 70, so.
I think I think absolutely, I think when you come to town, they need to abide by the rules, speed limits,
And if they're outside the city limits,
that's county's hands in.
Not under control.
Yep.
I also think, my opinion too, is to make fines appropriate for violations, to try to deter people coming to town on a Friday night and ramrodding around town and causing ruckus and stuff like that.
That's
So,
another thing to take into consideration, right? Because with golf carts, you have to be, a half hour after sunrise and half hour before sunset.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah,
like,
there's
do
time. There's time frame.
we need to do the same thing with
I would think
UTVs?
so.
I mean, I would think that,
Because the requests from those who were here, typically daytime, want to come into have lunch at the restaurant, come in and get gas. I mean, it's typically a daytime type thing. I don't think we'd want somebody, 11, 12 o'clock at night going down Side Street, because some of these are not quiet.
no, that's pretty loud.
And they soup them up, they're extremely loud, and so you're gonna have some issues. So I think we need to limit the hours of operation because of noise as well.
so
Absolutely.
I would mimic our golf cart ordinance then.
I can amend that to include ORVs and
I think it's UTVs.
UTVs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there's a big difference between ORVs and UTVs.
Right. And so you can come up with something for next council meeting?
We should be able to, yeah. The fines for the first offense under the golf cart ordinance is $100. Second and subsequent violations are $150. Didn't know if you talked about that. It's going to be increased.
How, have you had many problems with that?
With golf carts, just one individual, that was last summer. I hadn't seen him out on his golf cart the other year.
So it'd be interesting to see now that the weather's getting warmer and we get this passed, and see what kind of trouble you have with this and revisit in case we want to do something different to help deter that a little bit more.
Say we can give it a trial, and maybe give it a year trial and reassess and say, what were the problems? What are the pros? Is this something we can adjust the ordinance, or hey, this is working just fine, no problems, or this is a big problem that we need to
I think that's a good
I would
idea.
think a review. So basically, the people operating are gonna make or break it. Come in and
They ruin it.
they ruin it, and they ruin it. And hopefully not, hopefully they do it respectfully, so they don't do stuff like this.
Sorry, Alvin.
You have your direction?
Yes, I've gotten all the answers I can get.
We'll need to work.
That's just a discussion, so there's no motion.
So we'll come back next time.
All right.
Approve architecture contract with City Hall, Police Department building.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Johannes. The city received pretty overwhelming interest from the RFP that we issued. We received 8 responses in total. We have those in your packets. Martin and Riley was the low bidder, and they proposed a lump sum contract of $48,000. That is based on an assumed $600,000 project, since we don't have exact numbers on that. If the project is lower than that, the fee would be as low as $42,000. If there are significant changes in actual construction costs or changes to the project scope or phasing, that price would likely increase. Those are all the other ones that we received, rather than add another couple hundred pages to the packet. Yeah, so
Sorry, I didn't read through that.
no, that's okay. They're based out of Fort Wayne. They've done several similar projects, including City of Decatur in Indiana. They did a adaptive reuse of an old bank building into a city hall. There was a City Hall Police Department project that they did in the city of New Haven, Indiana. City Hall Police Department building for the city of Ligonier, Indiana. A city center and city hall for the city of Rushville, which was also an adaptive reuse of an existing building. Staff contacted their references and other communities where they worked, and we received positive responses. Martin and Riley's estimate was also one of the lower ones at between 450 and 600,000. Elements of the project would include a small addition in order to put in public restrooms, along with a small conference room, configuration of the old front lobby as a council chamber, potential locker room for police with a shower when they come in contact with things you don't want to come in contact with when they're out in the field. Replacing, that includes replacing the building roof. The stairs should be replaced going to the second floor to meet code. A garage for the police vehicles, add an additional office and some minor remodeling for the work spaces, and creating a secure front counter to assist residents and increase security. Some of the projects, such as locker rooms or garage or possibly others, could be bid as alternates so that they can be removed from the project in order to keep costs down. In the packet, I included information document about the project along with some frequently asked questions. So, any questions on that?
Any questions?
No, I think we just need to be very careful of how this looks. There's been a lot of scuttle and a lot of stuff going on social media about spending this money and everything else when taxes are going up all over the place in the city. So, yeah, that's the only concern that I have, is that it just, I understand we've been looking at this and we've been doing this, but I'm not the average person that's out there not privy to the information either that has looked at this, so.
I think that's where something, education to the public is needed.
I would agree. I would
That's,
agree.
yeah, a big reason why I put together the informational document that will be wrong to give the residents.
A lot of people, they don't see what's behind the front counter, you know, what the inner workings are, and they're not thinking about safety or efficiency or, you know, those things. Or they just look at, oh, we can't just, you know, throw a coat of paint on and call it good. You know, but they don't understand why you guys are looking at this. You know, there was this kind of the same thing when we moved over there. People go, well, why, what was so bad with what we had? Well, most of the people had never been in there. And those who did went, oh, well, we can understand why you were, you know, in need of that. So I think educating the public and being transparent, I think it's gonna go a long ways.
And I think it also could be an issue of timing, right? Because your tax assessments and everything else just came out plus this year, so it just does not, the two together do not look right.
Yeah, so, but again, I don't think the general public, small town, not a huge crime, you know, people look at, you know, they don't see the potentials that are out there. You know, we put up signs, aggressive behavior will not be tolerated, but we all deal with it. I mean, I deal with it every day.
Yeah.
You know, people who come in, they're upset about their bill, they come in, they're upset about treating the family guy, whatever. You know, and you have that potential for violence. I think having City Hall right next to the police department is a great idea. You're right there versus, I mean, yeah, you're not far, but in the 3 minutes it takes you to get from out of the building into your vehicle to get here.
Or for somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, I just, I'm looking at both sides of the page and looking at long term, I think you also have the potential for either selling this building or leasing this building to offset some of those costs in the future.
Gentlemen, I think we need to look at the fact that we have operated very, very conservatively as a city council. And we have, through the years, done a very good job of building funds up for
These kind of projects.
these kind of projects, of which we don't have to raise millage. We don't have all the money to pay for it right up front. or if we did, it might keep us at a level that we're not comfortable with. But at this point, I see this as a plus for everybody in the city. Number one, they're not gonna see a raise in anything from the city to do this project. We have funds built up, as we heard here a month ago from our audit, that if we didn't get a penny in, we could go 3/4 of a year before it would be crucial. Not many places can do that. We're one of few, but it's because we've been very conservative. We treasure our people's monies. And this is gonna be a project that will, as the police department, when they moved over there and the open house, people were, wow, this is great. And yet they still didn't know that their old station is a classroom now for the fire department.
Which is huge.
Which is great for the fire department, but, that just shows how small their building was. And like I said, I think we can take pride in what we've done, and I think we'll end up taking pride in the building when it's done.
And I agree with Brandon that, like the garage and some of the other stuff as an alternate, and that way, you know, if we have to, due to budget concerns, push it off a year.
Yeah.
I mean, I put them in there, I get a total package, and then sit down as council and decide what fits, what doesn't in the budget, and then rearrange from there.
Yeah, I'm not saying this is something that's not warranted, I'm just saying that
But
it
it
doesn't,
hurts.
at the time right now.
We're all getting old.
Well, but, my point was, council should be proud of what we've done. Because we've been very, very conservative, and we've been very thoughtful of the citizens' finances. And so we can do a project like this without them even having to feel it.
And Steve cut a lot of costs up there doing a lot of that work himself for hours, you know, on work, but
That's what we're here for. It's a team, it was a team effort, it wasn't just me, there was
Yeah,
other people involved too.
But look what they've got. I mean,
yeah.
it's really, really nice. It's not fancy, but it's very nice and comfortable for you guys.
So we got like this line here, just people saying, it's great that you guys did that. And it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know,
Always gonna have that.
yeah, so, and this will be the same, once this is done.
And I think it is a safety factor for our employees, the city employees. You know, the people who work at the desk, so.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing to look at.
Well, and Brandon could have a room that he can have a conversation with somebody that's secure, that not everybody's here and everybody's there.
Yeah.
Both him and Patrick. And I think that's important.
Take Patrick out.
Yeah, he's stuck in a corner.
Poor Patrick.
Well, at least it's not a closet, Patrick.
You got one step up. Any other questions on this? Buddy?
No.
All right, do I approve the architectural contract for the City Hall, Brunswick Department Building, Police Department Building?
And we're looking for Martin Riley Mack. I'd make a motion to approve the contract with Martin Riley Mack and get that started on the City Hall Police Department building.
Support.
By Gay?
Yep.
No names? Resolution 25-3-3, appointment code official, International Property Maintenance Code.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Johannes. When the city originally adopted the International Property Maintenance Code, it appointed the previous city manager as the designated code official for the city. The Resolution in your packet updates it to appoint the city manager or their designee by title rather than by name. This would avoid having to pass a new resolution anytime there's a change in manager. We need this resolution in order for the city manager to write civil infraction tickets for violations of the International Property Maintenance Code. Questions?
Any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 25-3-3.
Second.
All yea?
Yes.
Yes.
No nays? Resolution 25-3-4, match on main grant.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Johannes. The city of Bronson is now eligible to apply for Match on Main grants after earning the RRC Essentials designation. The Match on Main program administered by the MEDC offers funding to small businesses for improvements that enhance operations and contribute to the local economic development. The city issued a press release and posted notices seeking applicants for the program. The city received 2 submissions. Under the program, the city is permitted to apply on behalf of 2 businesses with a maximum grant of $25,000 with a 10% match from the applicant. The 2 applicants are Smitty's Pizza, which plans to purchase new kitchen equipment, and Economy Garage, which plans to purchase a new lift and renovate their building to construct a new entry. The resolution in your packet is needed in order for the city to apply for these grants on behalf of the 2 applicants. Anything you want to add to that, Patrick?
No, that's enough. The city did a good job of reaching out, finding applicants in the community, to the clients, made the selection process easy.
Any questions? Approval or,
Make a motion to approve resolution 25-3-4.
Second.
all motion or,
All in favor?
all in favor for it? All in favor?
Yes.
Any nays? Approves. Okay, resolution 25-3-5, consumers grant.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Johannes. The Consumers Energy Put Your Town on the Map grant provides funding for projects that enhance community vibrancy with a history of supporting public art initiatives. The grant offers up to $25,000 in funding with no match required. The application deadline is March 28th, and the city intends to apply for the construction and installation of a Viking-themed public art sculpture probably located at the city's farmers market. The sculpture will serve as a unique focal point, enhancing the market's appeal while celebrating the community's identity. This resolution is needed in order for the city to apply for this grant.
Any questions?
Just curious, was there any thought to like the Polish heritage at all for that?
Yeah, and we can pivot to that too.
Yeah, we gave that a lot of thought.
Curious.
Those are kind of our 2 ideas, but you can take a recommendation if you want to go that direction.
I was just curious, is all.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Our thoughts, some of the ideas we had for the Polish theme sculpture, it'd be a little bit more difficult of a sculpture and
Okay.
more costly than maybe the $25,000.
Sure.
Can I have approval?
I'll make a motion, we adopt resolution 25-3-5.
All in favor?
Who's second? Thank you.
Stand compliment.
Yes. All right. Resolution 25-3-7, community project funding grant.
Oh, we got one before.
Oh, the Eagle one, I'm sorry. Resolution 25-3-6, Eagle Nexus grant.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Johannes. The Eagle Nexus Grant is a funding opportunity provided by Eagle to support water and wastewater infrastructure projects that improve energy efficiency, enhance environmental performance, and reduce operational costs. The city intends to apply for funding to install variable frequency drives at well number 4 and 5. The installation of VFDs will optimize energy efficiency of the wells, reduce energy consumption, and improve the overall reliability of the water system. The total project cost is $43,814 with a 20% match from the city, which would amount to $8,762. The remaining $35,052 will be covered by the grant. The resolution demonstrates the city's commitment to energy efficiency.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, is this already in plan for right now? We are doing this regardless of the grant?
No, it's something that we would really like to see done at the wells. Jerry, there's other reasons beyond energy efficiency, like the
It's easier for motors and
Right.
stuff, it's a
But
softer
this
start.
getting this grant speeds up that process, correct? Because it's currently not on.
There's no plans of it other than.
we found this grant and identified that as the need.
Good job.
I make a motion to approve resolution 25-3-6.
I'll support.
All in favor? Okay, resolution 25-3-7, community project funding grant.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Johannes. Annually, members of Congress seek projects for community project funding. The city's 2024 application for the lift station and wastewater treatment plant project was recommended for funding. However, due to budget delays in Congress, the funding will likely not be received. The city will be reapplying for FY26 funding to make updates at the wastewater treatment plant. That would include a new UV disinfection, RAS, return activated sludge, and waste activated sludge pump improvements, grit and chemical room ventilation, ferric chloride feed enhancements, and upgrades to the SCADA system. This resolution demonstrates the city's commitment to this project and ensures continued ACO compliance.
You have any questions?
The resolution is just to continue to apply for the grant again.
Yes. Is that one that requires a resolution? Some of these don't require resolutions, but we wanted to do them so that we had something to show
Yeah.
council's commitment to the
Yeah,
project.
no, I was just curious what
Yeah.
the resolution was is all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for applying.
Yeah, it's recommended through this program to have a resolution.
If I remember right, that was a fairly
We
high
want to know
dollar
that we're gonna get the
grant too,
match.
wasn't it? Huh?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 25-3-7.
All in favor?
I'm sorry, who was support? Okay.
Couple of them.
Okay, resolution 25-3-8, congressionally directed spending request.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Johannes. In addition to applying for the community project funding through Congressman Wahlberg's office, the city will be applying for congressional direct spending through Senator Peters' office to support the planned renovations and expansion of the future City Hall police department facility. This project aims to improve the existing space and enhance public access to essential services. This resolution demonstrates the city's commitment to this project. So potential funding option for the City Hall PD project.
Do you have any questions? Do I have approval for resolution 25-3-8, congressionally directed spending request?
I'll make it.
All in favor?
I'm sorry, I have Larry, who was second? Phil, thank you.
Bill.
Larry and I both start at the same time.
Okay, Kiwanis Park discussion.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Johannes. The city reached out to Marsh for support on submitting the Michigan Department of Natural Resources Recreation Passport Grant for the construction of a potential dog park at Kiwanis Park. The proposed project carries an estimated cost of $180,000 with a required city match of $45,000. Some of the city's match may include in-kind contributions such as forced labor account and materials, which could potentially reduce the city's cash match. An example of that would be installing some of the fencing or things like that ourselves. The proposed dog park would be located on the site at the existing volleyball courts, which don't seem to be used, and would feature designated areas for both small and large dogs, benches, shade trees, water fountains, including dog-specific fountains. That's what I was gonna say earlier, was installing that water line to get to that, which could be an in-kind contribution towards our match. Perimeter fencing and access pathway and handicap accessible parking. If council wishes to proceed with this grant, Admiral March has offered to assist in preparing with the site plan, project budget, and planning documents at no cost to the city. Moving forward with the application will require council to likely hold a special meeting probably towards the end of the month to pass a resolution of support that includes the finalized budget details. So we don't have everything we need tonight to be able to do it, but we'll have to have a quick special meeting to do that when we have better figures.
I'm a dog lover and I just have a hard time wanting to spend $45,000 on a dog park.
Brandon, doesn't this also provide a parking lot that would be acceptable for people to use for the walking trail?
Yes, so well, the big reason why it's so expensive is we have to provide ADA parking and make it accessible. So we're planning to put that kind of parking towards a little farther east where the trailhead would start for the walking trail. But if we do this, we wouldn't need to have that included in that project. We just have the sidewalk or walking path continue on to the parking area.
So your current budget is an estimate, it's not a reality? Or did somebody already give you the dollar figure?
They gave us preliminary numbers.
Preliminary numbers,
Yeah.
yeah. Past projects, it's really similar show.
Well, hearing this part of it now, going with the
trail.
the trail. And if it's, kind of killing two birds with one stone kind of thing, maybe I might want to rethink that now, but I didn't know that information ahead of time. I apologize.
Yeah, it didn't seem like a lot of time for dog walk here. So we don't need to do anything with this right now?
We need to
Just a discussion right now.
Okay.
If council has other ideas for a different type of project to submit, or
So the parking lot, didn't we have that in the trailhead or in the walking trail?
that project, yes.
So the parking lot's already funded. We're just looking at moving the parking lot to this? Or we'd already approved funding for the parking lot with the trail?
Yeah, it's included with the trail project. We're getting hopefully 2 grants to cover most of it. I think pretty much our portion would be just a lot of sidewalk that we need to connect to existing sidewalk to get to the trail. Unless you have a different thought on that, Patrick.
No, yeah, if that goes through in that parking lot, the project can be updated at a later time. DNR allows you to do that without parking included, so that cost would likely be eliminated.
So we're just shifting funding from one to the other?
Yeah, regardless, we're still on the hook for it, so.
Okay.
Any other questions on this matter?
New direction, guidance, or just sit and talk?
I think that gives us the guidance we need, and we'll bring it back to you for resolution.
City staff comments.
I don't know.
Everybody good?
Last month was kind of slow, but we're getting out of that. Beautiful weather out, it was nice to get out today, and the day flew by. I mean, it was very nice out. So, if you guys haven't seen the new boom truck out, check out the new lights on it. We installed 8 additional throws for visibility and safety of the workers, so
Good.
that was really nice. The truck's doing really well for us, so. Just doing upkeep on equipment and getting ready to put the winter stuff away, and we got all our materials in stock today for our water line. So we are ready to boot scoot and buggy with it.
Any update on the,
Back truck,
Yep.
they are hard to find. I'm kind of taking my time to find a good. So I did find one down in Bloomington. It looks good, sounds good, but until I can look at it, but first I gotta get in contact with somebody and I'm struggling there. So I might have to move on and keep looking.
going from Indiana? Indiana?
I did find one in Roanoke. It was beautiful. It was in the budget, but it's. So, I mean, it's just one after another, you know, you compete with.
I have contacts in both of those cities, so if you need information to kind of help get you a contact, let me know.
Okay.
We're happy to help you out.
All right. Other than that, things are looking good.
You had, at least pretty good shape when you come into spring, I think. You didn't get hit too bad into the fall and into the winter. You think everything's cleaned up pretty decent?
Yeah, we got one file that they just don't seem to know what the bag's for. So,
That's what,
eventually when we're picking up bags of fish, we'll try to break it up. Because I don't know who keeps putting it back in their yard, but it's back and forth street to yard. It's not us putting it back, so. It's just one thing after
I
another.
thought it looked pretty clean out there.
Yeah, today was our first day out full-fledged with bags and brush. We'll continue that each week now. We did take the salter out of the truck, let's pray, that didn't jinx us. So, it's gonna get serviced.
We'll scoot right on a pickup truck.
Just really trying to shoot to be prepared to start water line. So we've got a lot of things ahead of us to get completed. Our street's gotta be patched from a water main break. I can't patch it until I get cold patch. I found out county's not gonna sell us cold patch. So I got with Gherkin Materials over in Jonesville, they make patch. We're basically gonna do 5 ton at a time, see where it takes us. We're getting some potholes that need patched, try to get that done. We got some cemetery work to do. Just small odds and ends to get it finished up, and then we're ready to roll on water services.
But you go on water lines.
To be on track yearly, we have to knock out roughly 45 and 50 waters. Sure. That's to be on track to be completed by 2038, I guess.
Just providing some storms. Nothing gets in your way.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Last week, we did have an issue down at Douglas Park, so Douglas Park's on the hook right now getting water service. We had a failed neutral on the consumer's end. It was grounded from the electric panel to the water service at the floor. And when I say at the floor, I mean there's no extra pipe left. It burned a hole in the pipe. It leaks, so it's going to be a complete new service. It burned up our hot water heater, took the transformer out of the furnace. Thankfully, we didn't need more damage than what we did, so. But this week, the plan is to get a new service to that, so we get it opened back up for rentals before part of the program starts and all that.
Appreciate you. You take a lot, everything you guys do.
Never ends, does it?
I'm boring if it did.
Anybody else on city staff comments? Okay, how about city manager?
Oh, Scott is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll be
Jumping
brief.
ahead today, aren't I?
We had our annual fire banquet this Saturday evening. We recognized Mitch Swinehart and Mariah Cutler for becoming CPR instructors, Ken Reinhardt for receiving his Instructor 1 certification, and Chloe Gar for her MFR and EMT license. She also received an award at Kellogg Community College for outstanding MFR candidate. Amber Arvizo for getting her medical first responder license. She also received an overall outstanding candidate from KCC, and then Mariah Cutler for getting her EMT license. We recognize John Monroe for 40 years of service to the fire department. We pinned 3 new firefighters, Amber Arvizo, Garrett Below, and Skylar Callahan. And then we also honored some people for retirement. Tom Bidwell served as a lieutenant. As his highest rank, he was on the fire department from 1996 to 2024. Roger Bohach achieved the rank of captain. He served from 1982 until 2025. Tony Brzepka, who rose to the rank of captain, who joined in 1980 and served until 2024. And Ken Stutzman, as his retirement from the deputy chief's position, he started with the Bronson Fire Department in 1967 and served up until 2024.
Anybody else? All right, city manager comments.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Johannes. Just to give you an update on the lift station project, we mentioned earlier that we won't likely be getting $2 million we requested from Congressman Wolber's office for congressional direct funding. We were approached by Eagle at the end of February to discuss a grant opportunity for the lift station project. They approached us. We have a very small window to submit the application, but we believe we can get everything done that we need to. A good portion of that was already done when we were working towards applying for the USDA grant or loan program. The grant amount would be $329,600. Those funds would reduce our loan from $2,020,000 to roughly $690,400. We were awarded $505,000 in principal forgiveness towards that project, which will not be affected. Costs could run higher as we'll have to comply with all the federal requirements, such as the Build America, Buy America Act that requires materials to be used from American contractors whenever possible for suppliers. There are exemptions if the cost would be 25% higher than other sources. As I mentioned, our engineers are confident that we can meet the requirements, the available timeline. Hope to receive this funding to greatly reduce the loan we would need to take out for the lift station project. And that's a 2026 project.
Okay, city council comments, Matt.
A lot that was covered. Brandon and Patrick, congratulations on the essential certification. Again, fantastic job.
Bill?
I just want to thank the team. I mean, you guys are a great team. All of you working together in your own ways. You do great things for the city. We really appreciate all you're doing. You know, I'm thankful you're all here, all part of the city, all doing this.
Larry? Well, I agree totally with Bill, because we have an exceptional team here. The redevelopment ready, that Patrick worked on, we got the, plaque from the lady today. I know you put a lot of work into that. You've done a lot for us. I look at all of the resolutions we did for grants. You and Brandon are doing a heck of a job trying to get money into Brunson from outside that makes us so much more efficient because you're outside money coming in. And I don't think the community understands what all has been done here in the last year towards grants. You procured the park grant down at Kiwanis Park. That was great. But we're getting so much more money coming into our community because of these two doing a lot of the grant stuff they do. So it more than offsets their wages. So, thank you. That's really all I have.
Yeah, I got to piggyback on some of this too. I mean, it's sort of, and I've said this before, it's all the leadership. Yeah. It's all the people, everybody. Steve, your department, great job. You guys are all the time out there. Scott, fire department, you know, you're just developing these young, and they're so excited, energetic, learning and getting involved. It stems from you and the older ones, or the, I don't mean, but the experienced ones, I want to change that word, from the experienced ones to teach and bring them up. And it's fantastic what I see. And Brandon Patrick, piggyback on that, you guys do fantastic, do a great job too. And Joe, you guys always out there, always on it. Jerry, that water treatment plant, seeing more daylight as it goes in it.
Hopefully sometime.
Yeah, and Tricia, all the new, what you bought into this, you know, new ways of doing it, simpler, quicker, fantastic. Thank you very much. Yes, that's it. We have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
And I, you're supposed to ask that.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Oh, aye.
And all, and opposed?
I figured it was.
Adjourn.